It's a trap, you walked right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, they'll still carry on the torch. Just a lie, cheat, steal, half of what you make. Taxation is theft, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. That they disguise and pass off as bravery. Well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show, or for hyper control.
That's a Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, boy.
And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs, but here with you on this Sunday night to give you everything you want to hear and more.
Everything.
So, May is almost over.
Just like the COVID myth.
Yeah. Places are starting to open back up again. Outlook looks nominal, I would say.
Other than the coming meat shortage that you can learn more about on Ice Age Farmer at YouTube, I would say you're right.
I don't know nothing about no meat shortage. I just ate a whole bunch of meatballs for dinner.
Oh, I know. That short side looks good, but that long side looks terrifying.
Yeah. Well, people are just going to have to get more brave about what they're willing to eat. You know what I mean?
What? You don't like possum bacon?
You already know.
I don't know. I've been feeling slippy these last 2 days.
Oh, man. Nah, but, people are just going to have to broaden their horizons, we joked for years that we've been eating cat at Chinese restaurants. You might actually have to start eating cat now.
Somebody eats a cat for the first time that they made themselves, and that was the pork.
Wow.
The pink dye was actually pink dye.
Wow. That was actually not bad.
We need to start a kitten farm.
I got a lot of squirrels in my neighborhood. I'd be good for at least a couple of weeks.
They call those fancy rats.
Fancy rats.
Yeah.
Well,
they're like rats, but they're fancy.
It's like we just watched Inglourious Bastards, and that comparison is made.
Yeah. Would you invite the squirrel into our house for a cup of your delicious meal?
Yeah. The only difference between a squirrel and a rat is a bushy tail.
Yeah. I get it.
But hey, we're Bones and Tubs.
From the Bones and Tubs podcast.
If this is your first time listening,
welcome.
Wow, that'd be crazy if you're the first. What blows my mind, and I don't think about it enough, is this could very well be somebody's first episode,
and that to me is a mind fuck every time, not just for me but for them.
And we've never really addressed that issue too. We just kind of slid into it. And we're like, hey, welcome back. Everybody that is listening to this very episode has already been here.
All of our listeners are straight fam.
Yeah. So, they end up being family. But the thing is, anybody that's new, this is your first episode, welcome.
Hey, I'm glad you found us. Welcome. Come on inside.
I would say you probably need to take a jump back into the back catalog as well.
Google Nasty Nathan. But yeah, check out the back catalog. There's lots of woke in there. Yeah, and check us out. You know what I mean? And, summer's on the horizon. Nasty Before we get started, let's get some housework out of the way. Can I get these shout outs out of the way? Yeah, let's get the shout outs out, then we'll do the housework, and then we'll get started. I'm gonna give a shout out first and foremostly to stink.butt.69 on Instagram for that fucking god damn flawless double wide surprise look of that graffiti over there in Detroit. Man, listen. I'm about to put that on YouTube for everybody to see. Hey, and I'm not telling anybody to break the law. But if you decide that you want to tag Bones and Tubs somewhere in your hometown or wherever. If you're hip to any type of art and you want to let other people know about the Bones and Tubs podcast and then send me a video of it, I will shout you out. If you like making art in the comfort of your own home. Or on a public building. And it involves us, or it's just something you think we might be interested in, go ahead and send it to us anyways. Yeah, we love art. Chances are we'll probably make you a video like we did Stink Butt. I'm going to. It's just not up yet. But did you send that to him? Oh, yeah. Well, I thought you meant the one I was going to use his art. No. Yeah, we sent him personal videos thanking him for his work. No homo, of course. Yeah. Thank you, Stink Butt. We appreciate it. We actually, because we're the type of people, we appreciate you defacing whether it be private or public property. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. No. It looks cool, and you're really good at what you do. You're fucking amazing at it. Yeah. Nextly, we have JNY5_ on Instagram. He does the art on the episode covers. I have been telling people, long-time listeners, I've been putting the feelers out and been like, what do you think? What have you been thinking about our latest covers? Yeah. And,
they're blown away by it. And I'm blown away too. Every single week, I get excited when he's like, hey, look what he sent us. And I'm like,
yeah,
this is premium work.
We already
right
compared
here.
It one time to the first time you see a pair of titties. And then I had a homosexual friend of mine come up, and he was like, that was the first time I felt like I had ever sucked a dick. And I was like, I know, right? not that I would know that, but I get it from the titty reference.
Yeah.
He's like, JNY5 is bae. And I was like, I got you.
Dude's premium, and he sells merchandise.
He does. He sells merch. Check out JNY5_ on Instagram. Go to the link in his bio. Check out his minimalist anarchy promoting art.
And mind you, this dude gives us this art for free. Like
he does. Yeah. You're right. Solid motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I would like to share a beer or whatever his preference of adult beverages with him.
Probably something like classy as shit.
I like to think it's like lean.
Lean?
I mean,
like
to do art, you got to be in a different perspective. Do you know what lean is?
I'm going to be frank.
I'm using street lingo.
You don't catch me often being ignorant of something, especially something that alters the mind.
It's unimportant because it's street lingo. But Bones keeps his ear to the streets. That's what's, you're the more higher mind. I got to keep my ear to the ground.
Okay, so can you please enlighten me?
I can. If you go back to any like mid-2000s rap video and you see a rapper with a red Solo cup or a Solo cup of any variety color, it's usually filled with liquor of some kind and cough syrup that contains codeine.
Oh, okay. Well, then I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah, I don't really think you drink lean, my dude, but I'm just saying, like you got to have that proper perspective to get that delicious artwork.
Didn't like Lil Wayne almost die from that shit?
We had quite a few,
Yeah. You gotta be careful with the codeine-laced cough syrups, dog.
Be careful.
Yeah, man. Come on now.
Bones and Tubbs cares about your health. Nextly, we have the musical art of Blood of the Brave. BloodoftheBrave.com, Blood of the Brave on Bandcamp, Blood of the Brave on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Also on YouTube. I burped. Yeah. That was unprofessional.
Well, I'm sure
it smells like meatball bacon.
I'm sure you'll snip it.
I might leave it because I gave a description.
That's cool. That's all right.
Check out Blood of the Brave. Much like JNY5_ on Instagram, they're both anarchist-minded. They both love humanity, and they both love freedom.
Yeah.
Check out Blood of the Brave. Somebody reached out the other day and was like, I need to know what that clip is at the end of your episodes from Blood of the Brave. That was amazing. And I was like, oh, that's Norman Heemeyer. That's the Killdozer. We did an episode on him. He's like, oh, I need to listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Like, why did he say that? I was like, that was a documentary he made. That was a documentary he made before he went wrecking people's lives the same way he did. Got his life wrecked, I should say.
I actually had a really good conversation with somebody earlier today about Marvin Heemeyer and what he did. Because I was trying to explain to him, he was explaining in his hometown how there had been some fuckery involved with. So basically, since with this COVID thing, a lot of local municipalities have been sending out ballots for mail-in voting, right? And apparently, the area he lived in was trying to get some tax levy passed, right? And for whatever reason, a lot of people did not get these mail-in ballots that were registered voters. And it seemed like the majority of people that did get them were people who were in support of said levy.
It's fucking cute, isn't it?
The levy won by 100 votes. 300 of those mail-ins were rejected because the post office did not get them to them in time, even though they were post-dated on the correct date before the deadline. Okay. That's the kind of shit I told, and when he's telling me this, I was like, that's the kind of shit that made Marvin Heemeyer go kill those.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm going to say, I'm going to mirror that, but Joe Rogan said it best when he's like, if I can fucking bank online securely, I can vote online securely. Like, fuck this mail-in shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this paper ballot shit where you put it into a thing that counts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why can't we have a highly validated, encrypted version of voting on the internet?
Exactly.
But Joe Rogan just did a massive shot across the bow towards all the censorship systems.
The biggest dick energy. And we've talked shit about Rogan on the show before.
I will continue to talk shit because he said he'd sell out his own mother to find out the truth about aliens or some shit like that.
Yeah. So we're always gonna, we got to keep him on his toes. It's sometimes, he's like this big, like, Leviathan of a podcast, and we're just two assholes sitting in my garage, and, well, we have a studio. It's a studio.
In the garage.
In the garage.
Yeah.
It's
already here.
I'm not trying to, but self-deprecation is
part
of the process. Anyways, so, this dude has the biggest podcast in the fucking country.
The world.
The world, yeah.
He's the biggest podcaster in the world. He is literally the podfather.
And he just said to all these different partisan Silicon Valley sites, fuck you and everything that you're about.
Suck my dick.
You're not going to censor me anymore.
Right.
I'm going to do what I want. And not only that, I'm going to get paid. I love that Spotify just said.
Shout out to Spotify for shooting him $100 million because to me, that's forward thinking, which is, it's weird to me. And I think we've talked about it before. The fact that it's 2020 and we're moving into VR, the largest rising medium of exchange of information is podcasts.
Yeah, and it kind of blows my mind because when you think about it, if you think of the podcast as the same sense as a medium at which you get information and news and all that other stuff, right? Think about it like this. Ted Koppel or fucking Dan Rather or Barbara Walters never got a deal for $100 million to do an interview show.
Only on one platform, too.
Yeah. He did that.
He literally took everything he'd built and destroyed it because he said, fuck censorship. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to a platform that guarantees me no censorship. I can interview whoever I want without being pressured.
Yeah. So we can, so you know what? So we're not getting, because, the thing is, like, if it was up to these different groups that he said, fuck you to, they would have only the people they wanted on there in their own context, and they would blackball anybody that didn't agree with them, right? And there was a great it was on Zero Hedge, right?
Yeah.
There was a great article about this, and they brought up the point, they're like, listen, as far as we're concerned, I love their analogy. They're like, Joe Rogan just blew up the Death Star.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because he has opened...
They compared him to Alex Jones, too.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's where I say, and it's not like Joe Rogan fired the first shot in this war.
No, they kept fucking with him.
And, as far as I'm concerned, the first big casualty was Alex Jones.
Yeah.
They fucked him.
It's crazy. I'm so glad, though, because I can only imagine the ad revenue that YouTube lost.
Which, and that's the thing, we talk shit about Joe Rogan, we talk shit about Alex Jones, but the thing is at the end of the day, I would never want them censored.
No.
Right? I don't want them silenced, regardless of whether I agree with them or not.
I'll fight for your right.
That whole, and I love how, leftists like to mock people who have the notion that we should all be able to say what we want.
Shut
and
up,
they call it free speech. They call it free speech.
Yeah.
Right? Free speech.
Right.
Well, what about my free speech? Fuck you. If anybody says that to me in real life, I'll punch you in the fucking nose.
Let me tell you a story.
How about that?
You ready?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, the Bones and Tubs podcast provided quality content and entertainment for people, right? Mm-hmm. The recorded amount of time that entertainment lasted was 900 hours in 1 year. Mm-hmm. You want to know how much we got paid for that? 0. 54,000 minutes.
Yeah.
Not counting, but 54,617. Mm-hmm. That's how many minutes we gave YouTube of other people's attention.
Yeah.
That they got to throw ads at them. They got to show their little shit off on the sidebar of the webpage.
Yeah.
Advertise their little shit. Not saying that I would sell your attention, but I'm saying we are interesting enough to give them that much time. Yeah. And they give us not one goddamn red cent.
And that's just one of the platforms we're on. And it's, as far as I'm concerned,
it's the smallest.
Yeah, it's the smallest.
Other than group. Twitter, I still haven't figured that one out.
Well,
Twitter sucks.
When it comes to unique downloads and people listening to the show,
yeah,
YouTube is our smallest arm of the Bones and Tubs empire, right?
For sure.
But yeah, big dick energy goes out to Joe Rogan for doing what he did.
The one thing that makes me sad is I wonder if he's going to counter the lack of video. Because I really liked watching his videos. You see the facial expressions, the exchanges. Sometimes, Paul Stamets would come in. He wore a hat that was made out of a mushroom. He gave one to Joe Rogan.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to find, what was that one streaming service that we were kind of fucking with for a while? What was that called?
Library. We're still fucking with him.
Okay.
I haven't uploaded in a while.
But, he needs to go to one of those.
The crypto.
Yeah, one of the alternative streaming services.
BitChute, Library, yeah.
Put his videos on there.
For sure. I'd hate for him to violate his $100 million contract.
Because it could explode.
That'd break the internet.
Service, yeah. But yeah, big dick energy goes out to him. Do we have more people to shout out?
Well, we got one more shout out and then one personal shout out that affects us directly.
Okay.
So the next one goes, it's in our continuing saga with the three amigos. Uh-huh. This is a piece of history.
Yeah.
Dr. Gonzo, the sun is shining, but the ice is slippery. Redbeard, how flow the high seas? Mr. Bond, like whispers on the wind, something wicked this way comes. Lastly, to our waking giants out there in Wonderland, do you know Tyler Durden?
There you go.
And then the final shout out is I finally uploaded the podcast logo, the newest ones, to TeePublic.
Okay.
If you want to go check those out on anything, they're literally on wall canvas, they're on coffee cups, they're on fucking t-shirts, they're on baby clothes, they're on hoodies, they're on baseball t-shirts, they're on every fucking
What about dog clothing? Listen,
give me a check.
I'm gonna have to look because if that's the case, I'm definitely getting Ripley a little t-shirt.
That'd be
with
overpowered.
On it.
It'd be funny if that's what made us hit it big, was that puppy dog with the ripples.
Have we posted any pictures of her Instagram yet?
Nah, bro.
I'll have to do that. Yeah, because I got a new puppy.
It's your Doge.
What was that, about 2 months ago?
Yes.
Yeah, we got a new puppy, and she's adorable.
She's ridiculous.
Yeah, you just want to smush her little face all the time.
If you go to our Bones and Tubs, it'd be Instagram.com/Bones and Tubs or Bones and Tubs on your Instagram app. Click the link in our bio. The original logo. We have 2 of our new logos. We have 1 more that I haven't uploaded because I couldn't get the sizing right. But the items in which you could buy these things on: t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts, long sleeve t-shirts, baseball t-shirts, masks. Oh my god, I didn't even know masks were on there. I gotta look at that. Oh my fucking god. What are we doing with our lives?
Oh my god.
That's overpowered.
And they're only
Jesus fucking Christ.
They're only $10.
We also are going to enter a partnership with them so we can get a coupon code. But please don't wait. Support the show. God. We get a very small amount of the proceeds.
I gotta buy a mask.
My fucking head exploded just now.
You realize I'm gonna wear that at the factory,
Hold
right?
on, I'm screenshotting this motherfucker.
Fucking stop me.
I'm screenshotting it right now. I'm sending it out in all the group chats. This has to be done. I'm not gonna edit this out either.
Because here's the thing, listen, unfortunately at the Factory of Sadness, we have to wear masks. That's part of our job requirements. Even though I don't know how much it really stops.
It doesn't stop anything from the fake-ass virus.
And if you got to wear a mask at your job, why don't you go on over to TeePublic and make a fashion statement with a Bones and Tubs face mask?
Do you hate your boss? Tell him to suck your dick with the Bones and Tubs face mask. Anyway, we got masks, kids apparel, we got kids t-shirts, kids hoodies, kids long sleeve t-shirts. We got onesies.
Oh, shit.
Motherfucking onesies. Wall art, notebooks, mugs, pillows, and get ready, totes.
I need to get a mug. Yeah. I think we both need mugs because we set them on our...
I know. What are we doing with our...
I know.
We need to get back on live, too, but we got to figure that problem out.
Well, okay. So, you know what? I'll talk about the whole live thing at the end of the show because I know they don't want to see us melting like snowmen.
Oh, you're right.
But we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, so today we wanted to... You know how we are. We talk for... 20, 25, 30 minutes about a topic, and we want to get the gears turning inside your mental, your brain palaces. You know what I mean? Really, just ring the bells a little bit, just so you guys get curious and you want to look up stuff for yourself. We're not going to give you every fact. Sometimes some episodes are fact driven. You know what I mean? That's if we're telling a story.
Right.
This is more about maybe shining light on something you haven't thought about before or heard of, and that has to do with and I know some of you out there will probably roll your eyes or guffaw or like but it's about astrology. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is, we've been looking into this I think we talked about this last week. After the show we started talking about this notion because we've known about it for a while, and we've talked about it on the show before, the notion that we're not talking about the fucking horoscope in your local newspaper or some dumb fucking clickbait on a Facebook ad. You know what I mean? Not that kind of shit. We're talking about, what would you even want to call it? Would it be like deep state, cabal, fucking astrology? Because it's its own fucking thing, and it's way more in depth and secret. I wouldn't even say it's secret. It's esoteric because the information's out there.
It's a cult. It's occulted.
It's occulted knowledge.
It's hidden from view. For those of you that don't know about word language, occult just means hidden from sight.
But you can find this information, though. You know what I mean? You can search this shit out and find it for yourself. What we're talking about here is what really has to deal with is not just like, oh, what's your sign? No, it goes way more in depth to that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck about ascending and retrograde and shit like that. Like your birth charts, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna find something out. You could DuckDuckGo it or Google it or whatever search engine you prefer to use. DuckDuckGo preferably.
Yeah, anything but Google.
If you start looking into it, you're gonna come to find out that when it comes to trying to find out when certain elite people in society were born,
yeah,
it's going to become very difficult to find their records.
Like the royal family?
Like the royal family.
How they like to hide
That's
the dates.
The big example. They hide not only the dates, but they hide the times because you have to be when it comes to these detailed birth charts in astrology, you have to give a time, right?
Yeah.
Because your sign might be like some planetary body might be in your sign at that moment, and that affects that birth chart, right?
Yeah.
And like, I listened. There's a great episode of the Higher Side Chats. They talked to Aaron Kupik. That's his name, right?
I'm glad you said it right.
Yeah, that name just threw. I saw it earlier today.
Pocock.
Yeah, Pocock. But he talks about mind you, the episode's back from 2017, and he's more talking about like trying to predict how 2017 was going to go. Mind you, this is 2020, so it's been a while.
Yeah. They do one every year. I don't know why they didn't list the most recent one first.
But basically, this dude is an astrologist, and he's not like writing dailies and fucking horoscopes and shit.
He's not like, oh my god, Becky, I met Tom the other day at the football game, and I'm an Aquarius, and he's a Sagittarius, and I just feel like we're gonna just, we're
just gonna click, But he talked a lot in that episode about Donald Trump's shit, because that's all out there. Like his time of birth, where all that shit is out there. So people could actually do star charts. Now, he also talked about, at the time, this, mind you, in 2017, this is right after the election. Because it's like in February, right?
Yeah.
Of 2017. He mentions that Hillary Clinton, her birth time has been obscured. Like they've, on reports and whatnot, they have given 3 different birth times because they don't want people to know when she was born,
right?
Because they don't want to be able to map her with a birth chart,
right?
And the same thing goes with like people like the royal family and shit like that. They don't want you being able to map out things about them. Now, that's to say that one believes in this kind of thing, right?
Right.
But the thing is that, here's the thing. If you've got these people, royal families and whatnot, with their own astrologers on the payroll, mind you.
Yes.
Obviously, they're taking it seriously.
Very seriously.
And here's the thing you got to keep in mind. Whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant because they believe in it. Right? So,
and they make decisions based on what these people are telling them.
Exactly.
And if you look at the like, they'll ask you for your date, your year. Any schmuck piece of shit can go to the paper and look at like, well, I'm an Aquarius. What's mine going to be today?
Yeah.
And all of them are like pretty much the same goddamn thing. They're just spun around in a different way.
Yeah.
To make you, it's so basic that anything that happens to you that day, you can be like, I read it in the paper.
Like I was thinking about it on my way home from work, like. The process at which astrology came about, because mind you, this isn't some new age thing. Astrology's been around since fucking goddamn Hermes Trismegistus in the dawn of time.
He brought it about.
Yeah, like basically, like, and I was trying to think how did they come to these conclusions with these certain things, and the only thing I could come to is it had to be because someone will shoot me in the face for this, but to an extent. Like, I would almost want to believe that an astrologer who's trying to do their job would treat this almost like a science, right?
They do, absolutely.
But it's like, it's a science so obscure that it's
alchemical.
Exactly. So, the way I look at it, like, you imagine how long it took for them to figure out, like, they literally probably had to chart entire generations of people, like, what was going on in their lives while these astrological things were going on, right?
Yeah.
To begin to chart this and figure out that there was a pattern.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like, reminds me of, like, to be able to see a pattern like that made me think of that movie Wanted. You know what I'm talking about? The Loom of Fate.
Right.
Like, how they figured out that, like, the loom was producing different like codes through threads bumping up. I mean, it's not I'm not a big fan of that movie, but that's what I thought of.
Yeah, it's a good correlation.
Like you had to have these like fucking monks and hermits and shit. And mind you, this is astrology is not a solely Western thing. Right. Astrology was all over the planet in different forms.
Well, I mean, fuck, they've been around since time,
and they involve the same things.
Yeah,
people and their actions,
planets and their movements,
and the constellations.
Yeah,
over and over and over again.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I want to tell a quick story.
Yeah,
about a woman named Joan Cecil Quigley.
Okay.
Do you know who she is? Mm-mm. She was born on April 10th, 1927. She died on October 24th, 2014, of San Francisco, California. She was an astrologer best known for her astrological advice to the Reagan White House in the 1980s. Quigley was born in Kansas, Missouri. And they talked about her publicly. There was a massive public outcry about, like, oh my God, the president, like, was having this lady come visit the White House. She's an astrologer, right? He was making decisions on a national scale due to her advice.
Yeah.
That's not just to say it's just one person, because that is just one example, but it's literally world leaders. There was a statement also by J.P. Morgan, the rich banker, who looks like a real putz, a little bag of putz. See that? Is that a putz bag? Is that what that is?
Oh yeah, it looks like he's wearing a fake nose.
Yeah,
like
a little pocket watch, a little 3-piece suit, doing that business. Mm-hmm. His statement was. J.P. Morgan's statement was, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. Now that's been changed time over time. The one that I originally read was, millionaires believe in astronomy, billionaires believe in astrology.
So basically what we're getting at here is that they perceive that there is, I don't know what you call it, like it's like a predictive code.
One of those episodes on the Higher Side Chats, if you go to YouTube and type in the Higher Side Chats Astronomy, you'll find the guy we're talking about. He's given several interviews, but he basically akins it to the golden ratio. Mm-hmm. It's a program within reality. Yeah. Air quotes, reality. But this astronomy, when you're born in the specific time in a certain area, in these star signs, you're basically getting your programming. And you can predict your programming through the sky.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy accurate on so many levels. The way that he breaks it down with the one you were talking about with Trump.
Yeah.
The way he said things. He gave an interview in 2019 talking about 2020, and he's like, 2020 is about to be fucking off the chain.
Here's the thing. Like, my line of logic, I don't like to think that, like, the elite are necessarily, like, smart, right? But here's the thing, like, that as far as I'm concerned, like, these individuals who are fucking unbelievably rich,
yeah,
right, have decided to listen to something that most people consider, like, woo-woo.
They also, right? They make it woo-woo, though. You don't have to sign a birth chart to read your astrology shit in the paper. That's milk.
Yeah.
Shit they put in the paper is, like, entertainment.
I would love to go actually, like, see a true, like,
how cool would it be if we took some of our patreon.com/bones and toes money and went and had our astrology charts drawn up
and get a birth chart
and we did a
done.
Video?
That'd be sweet.
That'd be a sweet video. If you guys would like that, we should check out the patreon.com/bones and toes.
We'll talk about that at the end of the episode.
I was just gonna quick plug in
I like it. Just a little
bit of put. Yeah, I'm pretty close to the microphone.
Just maybe a little.
Just a little bit of put.
Big surprise, mate. You got room for put.
Check out Christmas Put on YouTube.
Okay, so like, and that's the thing you got to, like, really take into consideration is that, like, I feel like if it wasn't something worth any merit, they wouldn't listen to it in the first place.
Listen, if you're a fucking billionaire, you've moved past the whole thing that time is money, and you've gone into some sort of macro version of that. Like, you're not going to waste any bit of your being on some shit that you don't fully believe in. Those guys are psychopaths.
Yeah.
There's no other way to look at it. If you're a billionaire, whether or not you're a violent psychopath or just a psychopath that has a laser sharp focus only on one goal.
Because here's the thing, like, regular people who like day trade or play the stock market, I've done that before.
Yeah.
I always akin it to gambling, right?
It's definitely gambling.
It's gambling.
Yes.
Okay.
You have no idea what you're doing. Even if, whatever.
So
maybe.
Like, and that's the way I've always looked at it. But then when I start thinking about it like this, like, it's like, do you remember in Back to the Future 2 when old Biff goes back in time and gives young Biff that sports almanac with all the scores in it?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they got.
For sure.
Because, like, think about it like this. If you were to go to a casino and play blackjack.
Play machine number 37 exactly at 6:30 p.m.
That, or you learned how to count cards.
Yeah.
And you were suddenly able to, like, just win and know when to, like, hedge a bet and when to reserve a bet.
Yeah.
And decline and just lose a little bit of money versus lose a lot. Because you ever notice the individuals that we're talking about here, these big-time elites, they rarely lose.
Right. They never really truly lose
at all. Just keep winning, right? And then it makes you wonder, well, what about, so we're talking about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and stuff like that. So if these two individuals follow these guidelines, right, how the fuck did one lose and one didn't? Which leads me to believe that there's different schools of thought when it comes to that, which leads us to where we've talked about before, where Donald Trump is into lunar magic or lunar calendars.
Right.
In the way he does things. You know what I mean? Cool.
Repeat what you last said. I'm sorry.
Well, basically what I said is that I feel like not every school of thought when it comes to astrology is in the same. That's not one university. There's different ones because think about it like this: if Hillary Clinton has people who think like this, and Donald Trump has people who thought like this, and they went up against each other, like with this kind of knowledge, how would knowing that you're probably going to lose?
How would you fight that?
Exactly. So is there? But still
that goes. I
is there still things that are like
I don't know, man.
Hidden variables? Like, is there still hidden variables? Because here's the thing. To an extent, astrology kind of frightens me because, and we talked about this the other day with a guy we work with about the whole free will thing. Because by some people's logic with this astrology, one would be astute to believe that free will doesn't exist.
I wouldn't say that correlates that at all, though, because this is literally telling you your chances.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I guess in a way, it's not a complete, like, it's not a map to your whole destiny.
But it gives you odds.
Exactly.
So, like, if a lot of these people, I think, in business and stuff that use it on the higher level, they're like, okay, well, I thought about doing this venture here, or maybe starting up this around this time. And then they look into it, and they're like, oh, that's a great time to start it because such and such is ascending, and all the planets have a different weight as far as ascending or descending in your chart. Or it's like, no, that's a terrible time. Everything in your life is, if you gamble it right now, is about to go crazy, catastrophic. Don't do it.
So basically what you're saying is that astrology is statistics.
It's like showing you the universal Vegas betting board on your life. So 20-1 odds, you should.
It's statistics.
Yeah.
With variables.
For sure.
So, because, I feel like with this, I like to think of a model between the two where it's not chaos, it's not complete free will, but at the same time, it's not 100% calculable because free will does exist. So free will is the variable in astrology, right? It's just the thing is, like, think about it like this. Like, I'm trying to think of this in the best way possible. Say you want to climb a hill, right?
Right.
And
you're going to check the weather before you climb the hill?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it going to be muddy?
Yeah.
Is it going to be dry?
How deep you want to go? You want to check your health
how
before
steep,
you go?
Yeah. How are you feeling that day?
You're going to have a heart attack during the thunderstorm when you climb that hill?
How steep is that hill?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have an erection lasting for more than 4 hours?
And that's the thing. Like, so invariably, you could attempt to climb the hill regardless of the conditions.
Yeah.
And you might fall down the hill because the conditions are too muddy.
You might get a really hard dick and fall down from a heart attack.
But you still tried to climb the hill.
Yeah, you tried from free will.
And that's your will moving forward because that's what you wanted to do.
You either didn't know or chose not to look at the reports that could have helped you make your decision to climb the hill with a heart on.
I'd like to think of it like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good way to, because it eases my mind because I don't want to think that it's like there's just like some perfect roadmap for destiny.
That's the thing with our dude with Teen Wolf. That's his old name. I'm sure by the time
I forgot that's what we call.
He's coming on. He's going to come on for a show while you're on your vacation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man!
I actually just secured it while you were while you were talking. See that? That's the text messages.
Man.
Well, I'm sure he'll come back.
That makes me envious because I'd love to be on the show with him.
You know what we didn't do before? We never asked him. is what it was.
Well, but now I feel bad because I would have always...
Come on, just enjoy your marriage.
God, he'd be a great episode to have.
For sure, he's gonna run the train. Everybody listening here, that's going to be one to download, but he's going to walk all over me because I'm kind of retarded.
Because I think of this dude and the conversations I've had with him.
He's super deep.
And the cool part is like, we're not like the same by any means. We clash on certain things, right? But at the same time, we're able to have constructive conversation without it devolving into fucking
argument.
Exactly.
Let me tell you some shit he told me earlier. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Stepping on you. He told me earlier, he was like, let me give you an example of why free will doesn't exist. He's on this nihilistic free will doesn't exist kick, and I'm not sure why. We're going to fix it with plant medicine. But he's like, think about the gypsy. Mm-hmm. Gypsy is the guy that we work with. Obviously, that's a nickname.
Yeah.
But he's like, I fucking don't vibe with him, right? You don't vibe with him, right? Is that because of your choice? Did you choose not to vibe with him, or was it just something that was in your program that you chose not to vibe with him? And I'm sure in some circles, he's totally vibeable. People like vibing with that dude. They love him. They love having him around. He has an entire circle of friends. And you know what else? I think I would not vibe with any of those people that he vibes with. Right. But I
don't vibe with him either.
But he made a good point. He's like, it's not your free will to choose not to like him. And I agree because I tried to like that motherfucker. I tried talking to him. I tried finding out what he liked. I tried everything. I tried talking about everything you could talk about.
It is in your character to want to be able to like connect with people, right?
That's my thing, yeah.
Like
I'm very personable on a face-to-face
and that's the thing,
level.
though. Like me, I am not. Like
right.
If there isn't an instantaneous magnetism, generally speaking, I'm going to avoid the fuck out of it.
Pull out, yeah. Unlike my couch and me, you're gonna pull out.
Because the thing is, like, I think I've talked about before, like, he's not, I wouldn't categorize him as the proverbial psychic vampire that some people are, right?
Right.
It's just, we're like kind of polar opposites.
But some people vibe. I'm sure of it, that he has a family, he has friends, he has an entire group of people that totally click with him, and they're like, oh man, I can't wait to see the gypsy again.
Please make sure to edit out what you said his name.
Listen, I've never let you down.
Okay, I don't want to...
I would like to point out, without editing this out, that my editing skills are pretty much on point.
I'm not trying to make our job any shittier than it already is.
Fuck that place, man.
But, yeah, you're right.
Hey,
fuck that place.
I just want to let you know, if you're the Factory of Sadness or anyone that has any faith in that shit, or you believe you have authority in there, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I totally agree with the Teen Wolf, because that's some shit right there that lightweight leans towards his point. I tried to use my free will to like this motherfucker, but I couldn't.
But here's the thing. I know for a fact there are people that can literally get along with anybody.
But is that their choice or is that their nature? That's what I'm saying.
And I'll go ahead and say right now that this shit ain't real, because the name I'm about to drop, you're going to be like, you're right. He vibes with everybody. Well, okay, Saul Mauer is a good example. I was going to say...
Hold on, stop. The Woodsman. All right, you're right.
He's a good example.
Yeah.
There is a couple of people he don't vibe with, though. I know that for a fact.
Right, I get it.
Right, the furniture, the sofa.
Oh, I thought you meant that he vibed with everybody.
No, he doesn't. I'm not talking about him. He's the person I'm talking about isn't there anymore. I never knew this dude to not vibe with somebody. I'm not talking about him either. I'm saying the Woodsman didn't vibe with
I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Care. You remember Care?
Yes, but
that motherfucker.
But you're not like, I get it.
That motherfucker vibed with everybody. Like, and he made it work. Even unpleasant motherfuckers, he would make it work.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, what the Woodsman was saying is that your free will, or is that just your programming? So by basically like looking at somebody without talking to them, like, are you just that way, or did you choose that? Think about the times that you tried to like a motherfucker, even after they fucked you, right?
Yeah.
And you couldn't. We got to a decent middle ground. We definitely just side railed, but that's what we do here at the Buns Talk podcast.
Well, here's the thing. There's been a couple people, like, I've tried to vibe with them before, because I thought maybe there was something
you could find.
I may have felt something there,
common
but then
ground.
I realized that we had something in common, but we had less in common. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, you find that out. Like, you're like, okay, well, at first I got along with this person, but the more that I got to know them, the more I realized me and him are not, like, Copacetic.
Basically, the Teen Wolf episode is going to be on fleek. And he's gonna make you guys question all of your beliefs. He's deep as fuck.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
He's smart as fuck too.
For sure.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to get off the topic, but that's what we do here. We pretty much already.
I feel like we didn't get off topic because we're still talking about the notion of how much, because it's like I'd love to have Teen Wolf for this because I could all but guarantee he'd be like
against it. For sure.
Against it.
Yeah, we would butt heads on it.
But at the same time, like he has to. If this is some sort of roadmap and people have been calculating it and documenting it for thousands of years.
See, but he might not disagree because that's one of the things we talked about too. He's in some weird middle ground, right? Like he believes in free will to an extent.
I think the last time I talked to him about it, the way he put it was that it's not that he didn't believe free will never existed. It's just that free will no longer exists.
It's kind of changed.
Because we've been programmed.
He basically hit me with, you bones have been born to two people in a certain socioeconomic environment, in a certain geographical location. You're destined to go to a certain school system. And through those experiences, you might have choices here and there that you make. But it really doesn't affect the outcome. And he talks about all the way up, same way to a career. He's like, do you really feel any less powerless now than you did earlier? And I was like, well, yeah, because I could do A, B, or C. And he's like, but you won't. Because you're on this path. And you won't do these things for these reasons.
You need to watch the new season of Westworld.
I need to. You're right.
Yes.
But we got into a good point with the end game as far as like his whole thing was, and it ties in straight with nihilism, because he's like, basically look at your life as a book. Mm-hmm. You're the character in a novel. You're reading your own story from beginning to end. Yeah. You might be on page 2 of 100 or 98 of 100. You don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, but by the end of the book, the ending's already set out. See, and I disagree with that because you could change things, but could you?
But, well, here's the thing, though.
It's the Schrodinger's cat.
It is a...
It's a sticky wicket, at least.
It is definitely a sticky wicket.
That might be the stickiest of wickets.
And the thing is, like, that's some deep shit to be grappling with.
Yeah. That's what he does, because he's deep.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say that, like...
Still waters run deep.
Yeah. It's not to say, like, I don't ponder the same things, right? I do. It's just, I feel like I've been blessed with guide stones when it comes to, like, lights in the darkness, if you will, right? Like the Kybalion. Because I was going to bring that up, actually, because I feel like... when it comes to astrology, the Kybalion kind of goes hand in hand with it. Because think about it like this. So where think of astrology as like a macro version of everything, right? Because it's a lot of what's going on.
You're looking at the inner clock workings of the universe to judge your life actions and the success
or what's going to happen during that time.
Right.
The factors at play in your will, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, no, and we talked about the Kybalion before, and one of the laws is correspondence, right?
Yeah.
So if this exists outside of you, right, that means it has to exist inside of you as well.
As above, so below.
I will say this, and I don't know, we talked about this a little bit, and I just kind of, like, while we were talking, kind of put 2 and 2 together as the two things that correspond when it comes to that, whether macro or micro.
Yeah.
And in our existence, that same thing is epigenetics.
Yeah.
Because it's a roadmap to
backwards through history.
Exactly.
To the present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's...
I had a lot of questions. I agree with you, because epigenetics was one of my arguments.
Yeah.
Another one was El Presidente, and I told him stories, and we talked about, like, his kids.
Yeah.
Or, like, the kids that just seemingly have fucking memories from being a World War II fighter pilot who, got shot down somewhere and died. He's a 6-year-old and wants to go find his wife.
Yeah.
They go there. They find her wife by the name. He knows intimate details. The whole Gnostic death trap cycle. Like, yeah. I just don't. I think his nihilism comes from more of an inner suffering perspective.
Well, there's a lot there. It's a lot to unwrap too, because I'd like to talk to him about it in this kind of setting.
I will make sure that he comes back.
Like, because the thing is, it's like,
for
like
a
when it comes to his nihilism, like I feel like he's reached an impasse that like Nietzsche talked about, right? Where Nietzsche talked about, okay, if we're going to live without religion as we know it, right, how are we to be moral? How are we to go? How are we supposed to have a compass if we don't believe in the compass that was given to us initially because we know it was bullshit in the first place? How are we supposed to continue? And that's where like we've reached this impasse with nihilism because people are like, what if there is no reason? What if there is no reason to like do these things and to be moral and whatnot?
Right.
Like,
his whole thing too, from a past like argument or not argument, but a conversation we had last week was about morality, or not morality necessarily, but like why do you hate yourself? Mm-hmm. You know, because a lot of people, I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the Factory of Sadness, everybody hates themselves.
Yeah.
The staff, Yeah. And I told him, I think, at least in my perspective, the reason why I have a large amount of self-hatred, and we've talked about this before, in the natural law sense, you're violating natural law.
Yeah.
It brings about karma in a way that is on a micro scale, because whether or not karma is a fucking spiritual system, if you're doing wrong things, not to say we do wrong things.
First of all, here's the thing. Even if you consciously don't know you're doing something wrong,
you're still violating natural law.
You know what does know you're doing something wrong? Your soul.
Yeah, your subconscious mind, your soul.
Like, I'm going to go back to the Midnight Gospel real quick.
Hit him with a little ghetto gospel.
Okay.
Said Tupac.
So, I've talked about it on the show already. It's a great show. Go check it out on Netflix.
It's fucking amazing.
Duncan Trussell, Pendleton Ward. Great.
What episode was the death one? That's one I need to watch.
Which death one? Because there's two
the one with
death
the
ones.
mom interview.
Well, actually, now there's 3 death ones because there's
the mom
one.
Interview.
Okay, that's the last episode.
Okay.
Start
at the end.
The 2 I was thinking about was more the one where he actually talks to death. Yeah. And you remember when they're in that, was good, yeah. They're in that room full of mirrors.
Yeah.
And it's different versions of himself. And she's like, before you can go any further, you have to forgive. And he's
every
like,
single thing you've ever done.
Yeah. He's like, who are these people? He's like, these are all you, and these are all you, and the things that you've done
that you're ashamed
of. Okay. And the thing is like, there's not a person that walks this earth that in a way couldn't walk into that hall of mirrors and not be surrounded by versions of themselves.
And maybe lose their fucking mind.
Yeah. Like, and that's something that you have to, like, because the whole episode, he's talking to death. And that's something you're going to have to come to terms with before you shed the mortal coil, is you're going to have to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
That's some, like, God, that show's fucking amazing.
But I told him, real quick, sorry, go back to the Teen Wolf.
I know you're good.
Low battery. Not you, me.
Oh, okay.
The headphones.
Oh, okay.
But he told me in this last conversation we had a week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, we touched on self-hatred for the fact that we work in the place that we work in, and we do what we do because it's unnatural, it's against natural law, all that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what makes you happy? And he's like, you know what made me happy? Happier than anything right now would be if I knew somebody that I could go to that was handicapped, and they lived in a place that needed a ramp. And like me and you, or anybody, me and somebody else, me and a group of people will put together a ramp to help them get in and out of their house. He's like, I get off on altruism. And he talked about donating money. And he went to Charity Watch to find the most efficient charity, because we talked about our old episode in the back catalog about the worst charities and how they abuse money. Yeah. He's like, he gives money to one where you give a certain amount of money. I think it's a Sam Harris podcast charity that he promotes. They give money to people in the areas that are affected by malaria for bed nets. And he's like, $3,000 of donations goes to save one life. Like, it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
He talked about working with an organization here locally that goes around to these impoverished areas of people that are on food stamps and shit, and they build their kids' beds. Because these kids are sleeping on the floor.
But
this is his thing. And I'm like, how can you be in love with altruism but also be a nihilist?
Well, he's trying to find that moral center.
He's going through it's what he's doing.
Most people go every Sunday and they fill up that
void.
That void with
preacher.
With not really what you're supposed to be.
Yeah, exoteric Christianity.
Yeah, it's not
exo.
That's not helping you. You know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. And the more people I talk to about this, the more people agree with me, and that's that your spirituality is your journey.
Personal journey.
Your own personal journey. It's private, and you need to walk it alone. You can't let some dude in wizard robes
tell you how to live your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, listen, I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way if he does listen or, listens to it later. We both have extreme love for Teen Wolf. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for you. You know what I mean? I've been through it. I've been through the desert for 40 days, as long as it takes.
Yeah,
I've through it again.
I've sojourned and stared into the void many times.
Yeah,
and felt its fucking icy grip around me.
I fully agree, and I've been all the way through it, man. And we're here for you. Everybody, shout out a non-denominational prayer or a ball of positivity to the Teen Wolf. Yeah, we'll see him soon.
Hey, I think about time to wrap it up. Okay, so we'd like to thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
We enjoyed it. I did, at least.
You go check out Aaron Kupik on the Higher Side Chats. It's a really good place.
Yeah, type in on YouTube the Higher Side Chats Astrology.
Yeah. We haven't really been plugging it too much, but we've decided the time has come. COVID is nearly over.
Yeah.
And
it was
starting.
Fake, guys. Sorry. We tried to.
Listen, it's starting to get hot in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
We need an air conditioner.
It's not very expensive. You can just go over to patreon.com/Bones and Tubs. Maybe give us a little bit of AC money.
Yeah.
There were people that used to talk shit, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been the Condor. Yeah. Somebody, but they're like, you live in a fucking temperate zone, you pussy.
It gets warm in here.
It gets above average.
I'm sweaty right now.
My armpits are
and
telling a story right now.
It's still May.
Yeah. So is my taint.
So the thing is like, you can go over there, donate. We're going to start pumping out lots of bonus material here.
Only on the Patreon page.
Yeah. So if you want to catch some of that stuff, which is probably going to be like more geared towards like our favorite literature and stuff like that.
Yeah. The Fable book list that I morally couldn't accept.
But yeah, you could also check us out on Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App.
PayPal.com/PayPal. Sorry, I'm fucking with you.
Nah, you're okay.
Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. We are on Patreon. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All of them at Bones Tubs except Bones and Tubs, except for Twitter, which is at Bones Tubs.
I feel like there was something else that we wanted to plug this week too.
We're going to replug the fucking amazing goddamn face mask that you can get and tell your employer to go suck your dick, or tell other people to suck your dick in public. And go to our Instagram page, instagram.com/Bones and Tubs. Check out the link in our bio. Go down and buy a face mask for $10 with the Bones and Tubs logo on it, and tell them to suck your dick.
Hey, if you haven't done it yet, you should probably go over to our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, you're right. YouTube.com/Bones and Tubs show. Everyone listening needs to hit that sub button.
I want you to uppercut that sub button.
Because we're not that big dick energy Joe Rogan yet. We can't get $100 million Spotify deal, although we are on Spotify also.
Yeah. And if you want to commit crimes and tag our logo or our name on buildings.
We can't tell you to go commit crimes, but let's say, for instance, you decided to draw on currency.
But let's just say that
the Bones and Tubs podcast, or maybe a wall with spray paint, or wall paint, of some kind.
Yeah, you sent us a picture of it. I would not be unhappy.
I'm going to take the 13 Monkeys approach in this and write a constitution. It's not a good idea to go out and write Bones and Tubs on every piece of paper money you find, or to write it on every single bathroom wall you come across, or perhaps write it with graffiti all over buildings, whether occupied or not, that you own or don't own. It's not a good idea to do those things, and I wouldn't be really happy if you did it. Yeah. And we wouldn't always love you.
So
read through it.
Yeah. We'd like to thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope you have a good rest of your week, and we're coming right in the summer.
Coming right in you.
Coming with a U. Yeah.
Christmas food.
Coming right in the summer, and I will be here next week.
Yes.
And then I will not be here for a couple weeks.
But we will fill it.
It's gonna be filled. Don't worry. It's not like there ain't gonna be episodes.
It's gonna be the Bones and Teen Wolf and random whoever I can get on, or maybe just me by myself show.
The doctor, man. The doctor's always ready.
I get the doctor. I love the doctor.
Yeah, but it could be very well anybody.
It could be.
But we'd like to thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope to see you next time. And between now and then, stay safe.
Blood of the Brave, JNY5, Stink Butt. Art69, the Three Amigos, our Instagram store. We love you.
We really do.
The bad thing about being honest, the straightforward, and doing that is people know where you stand, and they try to take advantage of you. They take advantage of your good nature. They take advantage of the fact that they know that you're a good guy, you are a straight shooter, and that you're not going to retaliate on them when they fuck you. Well, folks, most of the time I believe that's probably true. But God built me to be here to prove to you that what you have been doing for God knows how many years is wrong. You picked on the wrong man. I'm not tough.
You hear that?
I'm not that strong.
Yeah. Yeah. They rolled up in all black, windows half cracked, scoping out the scene before they attack. Had they on bad guys in most people's eyes. Most trust them with their life cause they got a badge and tie. Gifted a position given to them by a system that set it all up to put the kids into prison. This is non-fiction, non-violence, so just listen. They got a mission to imprison your mind and soul. This ain't nothing new, but we survive what we're sold. And don't believe in ourselves, but believe what we're told. And we're all molded by a machine that gets in your dreams, that can get in your gut and keep your self-esteem. And I've been scolded and told who I should be, but I'll never conform. I was born to be free. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. Giving numbers of birth, yeah, that's a fact. Deny it if you want, but I'll do the math. I face facts and understand how to overstand the plan with my mind intact. And I got more than a plan, I got hope and belief, dreams and faith, and know damn well that's what they want to take. It's a weapon, fear is aggression, and they plant it in our minds to the point we can't find a way out, a way in. And anywhere you go, you'll see a many men over there and everywhere. They're armed and prepared to do whatever it takes. They don't play fair, that's a jump out boys with the plastic toys draped in all black, ready to bring the noise. A setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth.